Hello, brothers and sisters. Thanks for joining. Hey, I did a story yesterday on should Starmer sack Angela Rayner over her tax scandal, and I really couldn't make up my mind. I really thought it was kind of 50-50. It could go either way, but I thought political expedient way would be to go ahead and sack her. And it looks like that's what he's done today. So let's read about it. So this is in the Independent. We've got Labor deputy leader election explained as Angela Rayner quits government. The senior Labor figure resigned after the government's independent ethics advisor concluded she breached the ministerial code. That's huge because it's actually a good result, because if the independent advisor had said she was okay, everyone would have figured the fix was in from Starmer. And it's a bad place for Starmer because it's another one of his ministers has had to resign over a corruption scandal. So Labor just is not doing very well right now. So this is Friday, September 5th by David Lynch. Let's see what this is about. Angela Rayner's resignation as Deputy Prime Minister has triggered the prospect of an internal Labor election to succeed her as the party's deputy leader. Yeah, this is huge. If something had happened to Starmer and Labor retained power, she probably would have been the next Prime Minister. So this is a big fall for her. The senior Labor leader stepped down from her role as Sir Starmer's deputy as housing secretary on Friday after the government's independent ethics advisor concluded she breached the ministerial code by underpaying stamp duty on her seaside flat. Crucially, Ms. Rayner also resigned her post as Labor's deputy leader, an elected position she won following a vote of the party's membership in 2020. At the same time, Starmer was chosen as Jeremy Corbyn's successor. I guess she could run again. That might be all right. This contest means the party now faces electing a new deputy leader, a person who will not necessarily also take up the role of deputy prime minister. Ms. Rayner was widely viewed as a bridge between Labor's more left-wing grassroots and the party's right. The impending contest would expose the divide between different Labor factions and their positions on Sir Keir's track record in number 10. The prospect of such a contest will prove a further challenge to Sir Keir, who only has, at the start of this week, initiated a reset of his number 10 operation and claimed the government was moving to its second phase. Labor's internal leadership elections process was changed in 21 following Sir Keir and Ms. Rayner's victory. This was because of dissatisfaction among many in the party with the previous process, which led to the election of Mr. Corbyn as the leader. Under the current rules, candidates must receive a nomination to stand from 20% of their fellow Labour MPs. This must be followed by a nomination from 5% of local Labour Party branches, known as constituent Labour parties, as well as their affiliates of the party, and at least two, which must be trade unions. Once candidates have secured these nominations, a ballot is held in which Labour members and affiliates can vote. The ballot is preferential. The voters will mark in order of preference 1, 2, 3, and so their favored candidate to succeed Ms. Rayner. Details on when and how the deputy leadership election will be held are understood to be announced in due course in line with Labor's rules and procedures. Holly Ridley, General Secretary of the Labour Party, said Angela Rayner has served the party and the country with integrity and played a key role in helping Labour return to government so that we can deliver national renewal our country needs. We thank her for her incredible service as deputy leader to the Labour Party, and everyone across the Labour movement wishes Angela, her family, the best for the future. We have no doubt that she will continue to use her immense talents and dedication to public service to continue fighting for fair and future working people. Yeah, this was a tough one for me. It wasn't a complete, hey, she should be fired because she's cheating. And we've seen the exact same thing in America. There are several cases ongoing right now where it's claimed that Shifty Schiff from the Senate in California, who's a big Trump opponent, as Trump calls him, is doing pretty much the same thing, some kind of mortgage fraud. We've got one of the Fed governors right now, Trump wants to fire her for mortgage fraud. So a lot of politicians seem to have figured a way out to make money by doing mortgage fraud or paying their taxes. And it's crazy. This is actually very close to the same thing that Trump did. He misfiled his paperwork and didn't file his taxes properly. That was his 34 felonies. that everyone likes to talk about him being a convicted felon. And that was a complete stitch up. That should not have been 34 felonies. That should have been at most a fine for a bookkeeping error. But that's my opinion. I digress. But it looks like Keir Starmer couldn't take the heat and continue to stand behind her. It is bad because Labor has said that it's a crime not to pay your tax. Well, now you've got the Deputy Prime Minister not paying her tax. It could have been a mistake, an honest mistake, like she said, but it really does look like she was fiddling the books. And this is not a good time for Starmer. The knives are out for Starmer right now with the state of policing in Britain and the migrant crisis and little girls in parks running around with axes. This is a bad time. He does not need this. People are calling for a new general election. People are calling for the king to dissolve parliament. So Starmer's not in the best footing right now, and he's about to have Trump come over here in a couple of weeks, and I'm sure Trump's going to have a word with them about censoring Americans again. So he just didn't need the distraction of this. I feel bad if it really was an honest mistake. People make mistakes, but on the other hand, politicians have to be above reproach. All right, let me know what you think about this. I just wanted to get the word out. If you like and subscribe. If you didn't like, don't watch me. Thanks. Bye.